So how you doing? How you doing? How you doing, man?
I'm drinking, so I'm good.
I hear you. I had to give up drinking, man, because it's giving me headaches. I can't have my beers no more.
Well, I'm drinking wine. I ain't drinking beers. I gave up
Oh.
beer decades ago. That's just liquid fat, man.
Liquid fat.
It's all that is. You never heard of a wine belly, have you? But you have
I'm,
heard of a beer belly. All them carbs, man. Carbs ain't no good for you, man.
that's true. You're right. You're right. So what you drinking tonight?
It is a Merceau, a white Burgundy, a white
Nice.
wine from the Burgundy region.
Very nice. Very nice. I used to enjoy fine wine myself back in the day.
Me too. Uh, Ripple, MD 2020,
MD 2020. That'll do it.
fine 1974 vintage.
Damn, man. Well, everybody,
For the
we're
old,
here.
that's for old people anyway. Young people go, what the hell are they talking about?
Right, right. All right, everybody. We're obviously here with Branford Marsalis. This is Marshall Mack coming at you. I'm really happy to have him here. He's not only one of the greatest musicians I know, but one of the nicest people that I've met on my journey, also. So,
Don't lie, don't tell them.
don't let him know though. It'll ruin your
Mm-mm.
whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Did you happen to watch Black Godfather, Clarence Avant?
Loved it.
That
Loved
was
it.
that was deep, wasn't it?
You talking about the movie in the 70s, or you talking about the series?
This the series on Netflix about
Yeah,
Clarence.
man. Well, it wasn't Netflix for you, but it was what was it for us? Epics.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
was
the
an
one with the one with Forrest Whitaker.
No, this was the one where they did a biography. I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the movie, but now they did something else on Clarence Avant. You know, Clarence who was in the
I
big.
remember Clarence. Yeah.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. It's about
I
his
didn't see
life.
that.
Oh
Okay.
man, it is
Did you like
deep.
it?
It's heavy, man. I didn't even know much about Clarence Avant. You know, he's friends with Quincy. He's deep in the music industry. He did so many things as an African American. It's just
Mm-hmm.
stunning. But he had one of his lines I really like. He said life is all about a number. What's love got to do with it?
Right.
he was he was talking about him trying to impress the woman he wanted to marry with how much money he was making.
Of course. I mean, I know. I remember Clarence.
Did you ever
Boy,
meet
do I
him?
remember. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We didn't. It's not like we fought. It was just like he was talking about what was important to him, and I was like, oh yeah, okay, man. Yeah, that's it's not very important to me.
Right, right.
And it's just interesting when you meet. It's interesting when you meet people who just believe like everybody has a price, and it's like, well, what happens if you don't have a price? Then it's like,
Right.
man, you crazy. I don't understand you. Everybody's got a price. Then there are idiots like me. Okay, I'll live.
You doing all right. You doing all right. So man, just so everyone knows, we go back. I think it was to Westchester when I first met you. I was teaching with Janess Kano at the music school, and
I thought
you're
I met you before that, actually, but yeah,
I can't
I
remember
still
just
was taking piano lessons at Jeunesse Kano in New Rochelle, New York. Oh
right.
no, in Scarsdale. No, no, Eastchester.
It was in
East,
Eastchester, right at the border of
yeah,
Scarsdale.
Eastchester, New York.
Right. And
Yes,
and your brother's son was taking clarinet with me.
yes. Oh, that's wow. Yeah, Simeon.
That's right. They
Yeah,
all must be grown up now.
they are. Well, chronologically, they're all grown up.
Right.
Emotionally, they're millennials. So you know.
Right. Right. What do you think is different about the generation today? 'Cause I've been talking about that with folks.
uh, my dad had 6 kids. My parents, and my dad was a school teacher, and he was the breadwinner of the family, and he made $32,000 a year. If I wanted to go to a concert, if I wanted whatever, reads or gas for the car, I had to get a job. My kids and Winton's kids, we make slightly more than $32,000 a year. So if they want something, they just ask for it. And sometimes they get it and sometimes they don't. Most times they get it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference.
Hmm.
That's the huge, significant difference.
Right.
Is that they live a level of comfort that we would never have understood as kids.
Hmm.
So there's not a kind of pressure to succeed because in their minds they go, well, if it doesn't work, I can always come back home. And that's where they're wrong. But they don't know that they're wrong till they try to come back home. And it's like, nah, bro, that ain't happening.
Right.
Are you crazy? What do you mean? All my friends. I said, yeah, I don't, they're not here either. Yeah, that's not what it is.
Right.
And so when my dad said to me when we were arguing about something insignificant and stupid because I was a teenager, he said, well, it doesn't really matter to me because, by the time you're 19, you're going to be out of this house. So if you think this is the best way to succeed with that, just do that.
Huh.
So by the time I'm 17, I'm like, shit, I got to leave. My whole mindset is different. It's
Right.
not like I might go to college, I might not. Well, I might get a job at Starbucks. It was like I got to leave the house.
Right.
There's like there's at that time, yeah, well, there's 6 kids living in a 3-bedroom house.
Huh.
It ain't working. Parents have one of the bedrooms. 6 kids, 2 bedrooms. The math don't work. Got to go.
Right.
So there's a lot of things that are just different. There's just a lot of things that are different.
So we didn't have the internet and iPhones and social media and all that. I can't imagine raising children right now like with all
Well, even if we had those, we wouldn't have had them.
that.
Even if that shit was around,
That's
we
right.
would not have had those things because my father made $32,000 a year.
Right.
I mean, just the food alone for 6 boys,
Right.
that's a lot of money. And instruments and lessons. And it was just, it wasn't going to happen.
Right.
It wasn't going to happen. And I mean, there are kids like that right now. I mean, this is one of the things that the pandemic has highlighted in the United States. They say, oh, we're going to have a pandemic and everybody's going to stay home. So you just have to use your tablets. Well, what about the kids that don't have tablets? We will provide you with significantly more inferior tablets than the people who can afford tablets have. And the internet connection will be spotty and the apps won't work, but we'll provide you with something. So there are kids right now who, they might have an iPhone, but they don't have an iPhone and a computer and the this and the that.
Huh.
They're around, and some of them are mighty, mighty ambitious because they want these things. And they know if they're going to get these things, they have to get them themselves.
Right.
Makes a difference.
Those are all good points. I have to admit I grew up kind of spoiled. My dad, after the war, went to got on a GI Bill, became one of the first black oral surgeons in America in the late 50s. So when
There you go.
when he went to apply to school, my mother had a master's degree in sociology. When he went to apply to school, he got into the school because he worked at a jewelry store. He was always a hard working man. The
Right.
war really beat up his mind, But when he went to the school in person, he got into the school when they saw him in person. And I hope I can say this on the internet, but what the hell? They said to him, they said, what's a nigger want to be a dentist for?
Yeah.
And they kicked him out, right?
Right.
So people in Pittsburgh he knew had to fight for him to get back into school. And he got back into school, but then they started blocking him. So, and by the way, the first man was a Jewish man who owned a jewelry store who gave him the recommendation. Another man in the school saw they were blocking him and not helping him with the correct courses information. Happened to be another Jewish man in Pittsburgh, because in Pittsburgh there was a big Jewish population.
Right.
He helped him get all the right courses. Later, my father ended up teaching at University of Pittsburgh. This man's son went to University of Pittsburgh and studied with my father, lived in Westchester County, and I met him later in life.
In that
So,
small world, it's great.
but
It's a great
I,
story.
so the one of the things that happened though, I didn't take advantage of the things that I had. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I was very isolated. I didn't know, and my elders were already gone. And I'm going to be honest, I didn't understand actually how easy I had it. My dad used to
Right.
try to tell me because he was a hard ass, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
But
No, you never. I mean, it's like this thing. The parallel story is, Winton was always real feisty,
hmm
and I mean, always trying to hang out with the tough guys and the whole thing. And you want to get in a fight with him, just call him a mama's boy. You know, that's like fighting words. And then he moved to New York, and then he gets this apartment, and then he's in this apartment, and there's nothing in the apartment. He doesn't know what he needs. He doesn't know what to buy or where to buy it. He can't cook. And he calls me, he goes, "Damn, bro, I didn't realize until this moment I'm a mama's boy. I can't do shit." It was like, so you can put up that front, when you in at home and mama's cooking and mama's buying you clothes. So you get to this one moment and you're like, huh, I didn't take advantage of the opportunities I had. And you just deal with it from there. But it was like a really thing because I was going to school in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at the time, and went and called me and said, "Man, I'm a mama's boy. I don't know how to do nothing." I just laughed. Said, "You figure it out."
so what year was that? Was that 76, 75? What was that?
No, we ain't that old. Damn. That was 1979.
So you and I are about the same age.
I'm 60.
I'm 61. All right.
There you go. Oh, sensei. I must respect my elders.
Never go to
Old ass man.
Roscoe. Yeah, I remember hearing about you through cast Tony Campbell in Pittsburgh and something,
My boy, man.
right?
I saw Tony now. Well, last year. It was last year now. Was it last year or was it 2 years ago? This is 2020. Last year, yeah. When they were filming that Ma Rainey's Black Bottom movie in Pittsburgh.
Huh. Huh.
I was a consultant on the film, helping the musicians look like musicians. So
Mm-hmm.
when I got there, first thing I did was call Tony.
Huh.
And went to a couple of jam sessions and we hung out. Tony was my boy, man.
Huh.
Tony, clearly Jeff Tane Watts,
Right.
and this crazy dude, John Smith, and another guy named Don Alico. And they were all from the Berg.
Yeah, I know Don Alico. I remember Watts was in town. Dwayne
Mm-hmm.
Dolphin. Dwayne Dolphin.
Dwayne Dolphin. Played with Winton's band for a little while.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah, Tony's a great player, man.
Yep. Tony's my boy.
That's cool, man. It's a small world, right?
It is.
So you were in Berkeley when Lance was in Berkeley, and it was Cleve Guyton, all those guys there. What was going on?
Lance Martin, Cleve Guyton,
Lance Bryant.
Lance Bryant. Oh, I thought we were talking about Pittsburgh in the area. Yeah, Lance Bryant. Yeah, we all got there at the same time. Lance is from, I can't remember the town in Illinois. Maybe he's from Waukegan, which is the same town that Smitty's from.
Hmm.
But yeah, Lance, Smitty Smith, Tane, eventually Wallace Roney, Walter Beasley, Kevin Eubanks. Who am I forgetting? Alex Bugnon, Victor Bailey, Donald Harrison. It was a hell of a class. We had a good time. Tim Williams,
Bone.
Bone.
Man, Bone got some teeth trouble later in life, man, and it
I know.
really
I
affected.
know. I think he fixed it though. I think it's cool now.
It's cool. I saw him recently at the Showman's.
Mm-hmm.
He lost a lot of time in his life. He felt, you know what I mean. So,
Right.
but what can you do? I remember Tony Campbell brought me a tape of this guy. Said this guy's at Berkeley. His name is Donald Harrison. I want you to listen to this.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Donald was a samurai. Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was a killer. He still is, but I mean, yeah, he was ready to. He was ready to take you down. Always ready. Always ready to take you down.
He's a really nice cat, but I remember listening to the play and I was like, damn, so this is what the level's going to.
Always ready to take you down, man.
Man, he did that to me once too, because I've always been trying to catch up with you cats in my life, man. So we were in Paris, and maybe it was Paquito de Rivera's band or something. There was a jam session at the hotel, as they do at the Nice Festival all the time back in the day.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and I'm
At
playing, and I'm playing too long.
What's the name of
So
that hotel?
yeah, you're right. You know the one.
Well, it was a Hyatt Regency at first.
I think it was.
It was a Hyatt Regency, and then they sold it and it changed. I don't remember the name of it after that, but maybe it was just called the Regency.
So, first we're doing a jam session, and Donald Harrison gets up too, and he's playing. Now he's just playing some bebop, right? I don't know why. He's just playing some bebop, taking it easy, taking it light. Herbie Hancock comes in and says, "Let me sit at the piano." Everything changed suddenly.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Donald.
Then he pulled out his samurai sword and commenced slicing all of you. Yeah.
You dig? He took everything I played and erased it. He's like,
yeah.
And then he looked at me too,
Yeah, that's Donald. That's him.
So later I saw him in New York one day and I said, "Hey, Donald, man, remember we were up in Paris at the hotel?" I said, "Oh, that was you." But I love Donald, man. He's a beautiful cat, man. So, man, what I wanted, before we go on with so many anecdotes, I've always just wanted, you and I have talked about how you practice in the past. I know a lot of people are interested in that. I find if I listen to one track of a player, I can kind of really start to get into their head. And it's funny, I saw Eddie Daniels say that in the video too. So the track that fascinated me with you was Yes or No off of Random Abstract. I spent a lot of time picking off stuff from that and listening to what you were doing. The first thing that struck me was the accuracy of your time. You and I talked about time in emails, but what do you do? What did you do to practice time?
I played in an R&B band for 5 years.
That will do it.
Yeah, that's what did it. Because I mean, yeah, I know where the beat is. I know where it is, and because if you listen to jazz in the 20s, the beat is implied. And then in the 30s and 40s, it becomes, in the 30s, late 20s, 30s, it becomes explicit. And then late 40s, it becomes implicit again. Because in the 20s, the technology didn't allow for drum sets. The drum set would overwhelm a recording space or a room. So as recording techniques got better and as musicians got better, the big band took over and you could tell where the beat is. That's the beat. It's right there. It was the same beat in the 20s, except in the 20s, the beat was supplied by the piano player and the guitar. Because the piano players played stride. So it's dum tink dum tink dum tink dum tink dum tink dum tink. The guitar players tink 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 tink. Tuba 1 and 3. Boom 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 boom. But there's no drums other than a hi-hat going psh, or maybe a bass drum.
Right.
Occasionally a snare drum. And then by the time the 30s came around, all the drummers were going boom 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 with brushes. Not with sticks. Everything was brushes till the late 30s. Because again, the recording equipment, they didn't have limiters. They didn't have, analog tape just yet. And with natural compression, so drums would overwhelm the room. So when you listen to those Ellington records and some of the Dorsey records, It's just brushes. Everything is brushes, you know. And then like Woody Herman when he did Sing Sing Sing, then you had Gene playing, which is something that you could hear. Not Sid Catlett. I never. Come on. Okay, this New Orleans guy. He used to do that a lot too.
Uh-huh.
But then when bebop came around, suddenly the pulse was still that, but then it became more implicit because the drummers were playing the bass drum, but it was softer and it was aligned with the acoustic bass, which had taken over for the tuba.
Huh.
And instead of the pulse being on 1 and 3, it was on all 4 beats. So when you hear that big pulse, it's like the old dance beat, the old Pentecostal beat. It's the same beat. It's the Pentecostal church, but it's but you hear that thing and it's ding 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 ding. So the drum set becomes more fluid than static. And then by the 50s, the drum set had become static again, where everything was on the backbeat. And then everything went that way. But when just growing up playing with the static beat, and then about 19 or 20 deciding to play jazz and then switching to the fluid beat, I still knew that the beat was all 4s, even though I wouldn't have been able to at the age of 20 or 25 articulate it the way I can articulate it now. I just always knew where the beat was.
Right.
So that's why I'm not listening to the drummer for the time. I'm listening mostly to the bass player for the time, because the bass is the most consistent thing. I mean, the fact that the bass player is walking 4 should free up the drummer to play more creative ideas than they could have played in prior eras.
Right.
So you need a bass player that has a really strong pulse. And some of the modern bass players that are thinking more like guitar players or trying to play like saxophone players, they want to set up their bass so when it's their turn to solo, they can have more fluidity.
Huh.
They tend to play with a weaker pulse. But I surrounded myself with bass players that had a strong pulse, so it wasn't a problem.
Wow. That all makes sense. And I enjoyed listening to your explanation of that, to tell you the truth. That makes sense.
I'm glad you asked me at 60, because if you had asked me at 35, I would have said, well, well, man, we just on the vibe, man. We just, we're just on the vibe. We just trying to do our thing. I mean, I wouldn't have been able to articulate that shit at all. So.
What?